Sweat is important, be it whatever season or reason. I'm sure you agree with us. But then, will a little bit more of a tip do any harm if we discuss this, especially during the holy month? Welcome to Ramadan Conversations on the 973 show, and it is Fast and Fit session during Ramadan with Arpita from Tasma Yoga. Arpita, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Raji, for having me here.
Thank you. It's beautiful to have, and it's such a beautiful topic that we are discussing. And as I said, we can discuss fitness around the year, but this is special time, special season, especially during. I know you're into yoga more, but then talking about fitness, let's begin on that note. Fasting is a time when the energy levels tend to drop. You need to readjust or reschedule your patterns, daily life, isn't it? The body sends a lot of signals as to tiredness in the beginning, then you fall into routine. Let's talk from the fitness point of view. As a fitness freak, or I call you a freak, indeed you are, you always talk about only fitness. What would be your initial tips to our listeners and viewers?
I'd say, starting to fast, listen to your body and, don't just rush into it that I had to do all of it to get.
Yeah.
Take a week or maybe 8 days, 10 days to first understand what your body is going through and then get it to any kind of physical exercise if you are not already exercising before the fast. And so that if you up, you're already into fitness and go to the gym regularly and you started fasting, and you can just tweak the timing for it to be when you have a little more energy. So, just an hour after iftar, when you had a light meal and you're yet to have your dinner, it's a very good time to get your workout done if you're already into working out. You're not, then take some time and after 8 days or so, start the very gentle stretches, I would say.
Okay. Because Ramadan, the fasting month, is also a time when people tend to start new habits. It's a time to make resolutions like the new year. And I think this tip is very apt to those who decide to start that routine of going to the gym or regularly exercising, making use of the Ramadan period. Yeah, that's a good tip. Coming to yoga. Yoga is not only about physical fitness, it's also about mental fitness, isn't it? And talking about the holy month, the fasting time, when the practicing people go into long hours of abstaining from food and water, is there anything specific that yoga can offer them?
This is actually a very beautiful question, Raji, because yoga, the concept of yoga is very similar to what people who are fasting follow. That when you are not eating, your body and your mind is ready for more connection with God, connection with your own body. So yogis also working very less. Very less was enough because they were practicing a lot of yoga. Now this is the time when you can actually reap all the benefits possible, especially of breath work. Well, 8 aspects to Raja Yoga. Actually, there are 4 wings of yoga and we do only one of it. And out of that one of the 8 aspects, we are only following 2. As yoga trainers or yoga studios, we do it asana and pranayama is exercise-based styles and pranayama is prana is energy, ayama is regulation. So through our breathing techniques here, we regulate a lot of energy, and this is such a beautiful time. I can speak about the benefits of pranayama for hours and hours together, but just before you are going to do your iftar, when you are absolutely empty stomach, and you do like a 20-minute, 30-minute practice of very traditional pranayams under guidance, or if you actually know how to do it, the way you're going to feel, it's going to be magic. You feel so magical in your mind when you're half an hour, your eyes are closed, we just focusing on your breath. Because God also has given us a very beautiful signal with our own body that we can live without food for a couple of days. If you don't give someone food, they can live for 7, 8, 10 days. They will starve, of course. They'll be in pain, but they can live. Without water, you will live for a couple of days. You will not die. Without breath, you will die with seconds. So breath being the most important aspect of everything that is happening in our body. Just use your breath right, and this is such a nice time. You don't have to wait for your stomach to be empty. You don't have to wait to go to a specific place. Just before iftari, give yourself 45 minutes of doing beautiful breathwork exercises. And if you don't know how to do breathwork, we have a lot on our page. But if you don't know, you just sit and breathe.
Right. So when you say page, it is Tasma Yoga. So are there any specific exercises or techniques that you can maybe one or two simple ones you can tell our viewers and listeners, especially during the month for those who are practicing?
Yes, I can. So there is one pranayam called the Samabriti Pranayam. And now it has become a trending on Instagram. It's called the box breath. But it comes from a Sanskrit text of Samabriti Pranayam. It's like a box in front of you. Imagine with your eyes closed, you have a box in front of you. And you're inhaling for the same amount of time. You're holding that breath in for the same amount of time. Exhaling for the same amount. And then holding that emptiness of breath for the same amount. So it's like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So it's very meditative.
Okay.
Even if you're not fasting, you're anxious and you're not feeling too good, sit into your box breath. Samavriti is the easiest pranayam and it's also very effective.
Again, as we come to the close of the fasting as well, now we are on the second half of Ramadan, even, that the body itself would be gearing up to the ending of the fasting month. How do you suggest that we go into that smooth transition?
So by now you've had a couple of weeks of fast already. So your body is starting to get used to it. This is also different next year, but also now that if you're waking up for suhoor and that if you're someone who sleeps, it's okay. But make sure that all 30 days you did the same thing. One day you are doing a suhoor and going to work, one day you're sleeping, one day you are out with your family. So body gets very confused. What's day? Yeah? I used to sleep at this time or I never ate at this time. Suddenly what is happening? So for the body to get used to it, give it the same schedule for 30 days.
Okay.
The change schedule, of course. Yeah. But that change also has to be same for 30 days. That will be very, very beneficial. I particularly feel I've not experienced the whole month of Ramadan, but of all that I've read and studied and experienced over the past 5 years of teaching yoga, schedules, body works really well on a particular schedule.
Very organized.
When you're organized, yeah.
Sometimes we take our bodies for granted, isn't it? We do whatever we with the schedules.
This was more thing that, we're already so low on energy because we don't have enough water and enough food during the day. And now it's also started to get hot. We look at the phone a lot and that blue light kind of, it strains our eyes. It makes our eyes dry, but it also makes our brain dry. So try to stay inwards and don't have long unnecessary conversations with people that you don't want to, or don't use a lot of phone, don't go on a lot of scrolling.
Try to be meditative, right? Connect with you, connect with the maker. That's a whole month all about, isn't it? Thank you very much, Arpita, for taking us through from the yoga perspective of staying fast and fit during Ramadan.
Thank you so much, Raji. It's so nice, Dora.
Thank you so much. So that was Arpita from Tasma Yoga speaking to us on Fast and Fit Ramadan, only on Ramadan Conversations on the 973 show.